termination of supply of Flesh and Blood products from all official distributors. Wow, we're going to have a fun conversation today now, aren't we? All right, we're not quite to the 750. It's like 748, I think, right now. But you know what? We'll call it 750 just because I don't want to wait any longer to give something away. So we're calling it 750. If you're not one of the subscribers yet, you can help us to get that goal. But today we're going to give away this Bravo the Showstopper Hero deck. It's sealed in there that I was given from multiple people. So shout out to my buddy Dan H, who got me into Flesh and Blood and who noticed in my background that I didn't have a Bravo deck. And then LSS sent me another one. So I've gotten 2 of these in the mail this week, and I've decided to give one back to you because they were given to me. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a giveaway to celebrate the 548, but maybe 50 now. The 748, but maybe 50 now. People who have told me that you like the content. I can't wait till we get to 900. I thought about making that 1,000, but then I was like, no, like if we make it 900, then we can do 2 giveaways before 1,000 or at 1,000. So if you want this Bravo deck, you can use it to sell it. You would get like $60 for it online. Or you can use it to give to a friend, or you can just take some first edition cards, whatever you want to do. So anyway, just to leave a comment in the comment section. Any comment will enter you to win. We'll give it away in 2 days. So let's talk about this. I got a message. How do I want to do this? So you've known LSS put out some stuff and said, hey, basically you can't sell the Armory Kit promos, right? Like it makes sense. So if you don't know what an Armory Kit promo is, essentially it's organized play, and a local game store can sign up to do organized play, and for that they get promo material to award as prizes. There's a Champions playmat, which is supposed to be given to somebody in the community that like really, so what it says, actually it says, to be used as a performance-based prize, not to be used as a performance-based prize. It must be awarded at the discretion of the retailer to someone who is bringing a positive energy to their local community. Great, right? Like a person who's like bringing the positivity. I love that. As somebody who is advocating for more positivity, I love the Champions playmat. So if basically stores are supposed to not sell that, they're supposed to just give it away, not as prize, but as a reward for positive energy in the gameplay. And then they're also given some of those cold foils, right? The cold foil cast eye, I think, is out right now. And those are supposed to be used as performance-based prizes, as well as 32 other kind of full art promos that aren't cold foil or foil. They're just kind of full art cards. So the problem is, and you've seen this on Facebook, people are selling them, and you can see like a store, like a guy who owns a store is like, hey, I've got 4 of these cast eye promos. We're going to sell them for $300 each. And like they were given them. And so I think there's 2 sides to this. I am definitely on the side with Legend Story Studios that we're going to talk about. The other side of the story, though, is that right now game stores are really hurting, right? And so to be able to sell, you know, $1,000 worth of promos is really great for the game store, but it's short-term gains, and it's going to anger any local play, and it's going to stinge or halt any potential growth that a game store gets, right, in Flesh and Blood. Because if I can go to game store number A and play Flesh and Blood, or do an online event for games number A and get a promo, then I'm not going to go to game store B and do a promo where they don't have promos because they're selling them online for $1,000. And so eventually I'm only going to go to game store number A, and I'm never going to buy product. I'm never going to go to game store B. And so game store B is never going to get my business. And you shouldn't be giving your business to a game store who is just taking top-end profits. And so here's the thing. I'm going to get into a story that somebody sent me, but before I get to it, let me just share something from my own LGS and my community that I've talked to. My LGS is just now getting set up with organized play, so I don't have the promos yet or anything like that. We've been trying to get some events going. He's just a little bit, we just haven't gotten he does it on the side. It's not his full-time job, so we just haven't gotten it set up for organized play. So, one of the things he's told me, though, is that the markup of Flesh and Blood, the amount of money that's able to be made as a store for Flesh and Blood is so much higher than Magic the Gathering or Pokemon, because the box prices are much lower. not terribly lower, but the margin is just better. And Legend Story Studios has kind of put this, you can't sell it for less than, I think it's $78. And so the margins are kind of guaranteed to be higher because nobody can undercut the market, which is awesome for the local game store because they now have a product that generates some money. Unlike Magic the Gathering, right, where they're selling it on Amazon, the distributors, or not even the distributors, Wizards of the Coast is selling it on Amazon for lower than the price that they're selling it to the game stores. It's absolutely unbelievable. So that's just for some of the specialty products. Obviously, regular booster boxes aren't quite that extreme, and there's a little bit amount. Like my local game store makes about $15 to $20 on a regular booster box if they sell it in store. Now, if they have to ship it, they lose out on $10. They really don't make any money. Anyway, so my point of talking about all that is that Flesh and Blood is a very, very good monetizable product just by selling the booster boxes. You don't have to sell your promo materials in order to make money on Flesh and Blood. You don't have to do that because the game is so good and because people want the boxes. And so it just doesn't make sense to me why a game store would do this. So here's what I got here. Right here, we saw a Flesh and Blood put out a post basically saying, hey, you can't sell this, and you can't sell your promo materials. They have to be given out. And there's a place where you can report breaches. So if you see somebody selling, now hold on, individuals like if I win a promo material, if I win a promo cast I can sell it. Like I'm not a game store, so I can sell my promo for $200 and be like, hey, I won the tournament, so I got a $200 prize and I don't want cast ice, so I sell it. And that's a completely okay thing to do. This breach of policy is talking about game stores, shop owners who are selling them and profiting and not running the events, right? So there's a breach of policy. Basically, if you're caught selling the product and not using it as promo material to reward in-store play, and they actually have COVID considerations, so you can also do things on webcams. It says you can provide promos to customers you believe that are playing at home with friends and family. Basically, you are supposed to give these away. If you see an LGS that is selling the promos, they even gave it can be reported to info@legendstory.com. So there's a minor breach, which is just a written warning. There's a major breach, which is a 1-month suspension from all organized play programs and all supply of organized play materials. And then there's a sustained breach, which is termination of supply of Flesh and Blood products from all distributors. So they're taking this seriously. And now that was the official statement, right? Well, I got a message from a friend, a buddy on the interwebs, just somebody who I've started talking to quite a bit. He said, I got some fab news for you. My LGS told me that he was contacted a few weeks ago. Don't ignore the dogs. If you can hear the dogs, don't worry about them. He was contacted a few weeks ago by LSS. They asked him if he was holding Armory events or if he was selling the promos online. He had to provide them proof that he held the events. He never sold any items online. Now he knows why. Today they contacted him and told him that they had issued a reprimand to all the shops who they found that they sold promos online, probably the article that I just read, and they're not letting them hold a Monarch pre-release event. My LGS was told that he'd be one of the select few shops approved for the Monarch pre-release. And I don't know anything about the Monarch pre-release. That's not what we're talking about here. My point is that LSS has gone out and targeted shops that are selling their promos and said, no, you're not allowed to do that, and there will be reprimands. And here's the thing. They truly care about the players. And that's what I love about this game. They care about the people who are trying to play. They want to reward them for playing the game and for being good at the game and for being a positive influence on the game. I think that the idea of what Legend Story Studios is doing here is great because I love the idea that somebody from Legend Story Studios is calling game stores and being like, can you provide us some evidence that you sold? I just realized what shirt I had on. This was for a video that I did today for my regular job. Anyway, ignore the shirt. They're like, hey, can we see some evidence that you've actually held these events? Because we want to make sure, that is awesome. They care so much about the game and they're so invested in making sure that game stores understand their policies and that game stores understand why they have those policies. because they want to be a game that is played and not just financial value. There's just so much conversation about Flesh and Blood right now and being financially driven and all this stuff, but I love that Legend Story Studios is focusing on the gameplay and rewarding players for meeting and for playing. So I love, and I thought that was really interesting that he actually got a call, his LGS got a call, and they were basically like, can you provide evidence that you are doing actual like armory events, whether that be online or making sure your players are playing, because we want to make sure that you're not selling them. And that's awesome. And good on this LGS. You know, I think there is a side to this that's like, oh man, LGSs are struggling, and that's fine. And I think if you're an LGS and you're struggling, you got to make a decision. Do you want to continue to carry Flesh and Blood in the future, or do you want to take short-term profits now? You know, I just think it's a terrible idea to take those short-term profits and miss out on the future of this amazing, amazing game that's going to be, I think personally, the biggest trading card game. Now, I don't know that it will compete with like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon in terms of the biggest IP, but in terms of in 5 years, what you will be playing at most LGSs, I think we've already seen this in New Zealand, where the game's from, and people are dropping Magic to play Flesh and Blood. And I think when you talk about why will people go to the local game store to play a game, I think it's going to be Flesh and Blood. Magic the Gathering, you'll end up only being able to play it online or playing Commander, right? Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know anybody who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! That's not like 16. I'm sure, no offense to you if you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Just personally, I don't. Pokemon, mostly is collectors, right? I really think that Flesh and Blood is the future of local game stores, and I would not miss out on that if I were you and I was a local game store owner just to profit, what, $600? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Host events. I love that you can host events online. I love that you can host events. You can reward your players that are playing from home. Make sure that your local community is supported, is encouraged, and has supply to play the game and to practice the game and to be rewarded for winning and playing the game. So I think it's awesome. I can't wait till my local GameStop. Let's talk about GameStop, right? That's unbelievable. I can't wait till my local game shop gets set up for armory events, because it's going to be super fun to actually be able to do that with some buddies. But until then, let's make sure we're not selling promo stuff. I love that they really were pursuing this and are making sure that they're cracking down. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. If you're a local shop owner, remember to be kind to the people who are in your shop and hook them up with promos and all that stuff. Don't just take the short-term profits. Remember, be nice to the people around you.